When it comes to ultra budget knives, under that $40 price point, but with really good fit and finish, I mean, Ganzo's damn near untouchable. And these are three knives that I think showcase this very, very well. So we're going to take a look at all three and talk about why you might want to have these at the very least as a backup. Before we get started, let me say this. Ganzo sent me all three of these knives, but I've never needed any help buying Ganzo knives. They're my favorite knife to gift to others, and they have a variety of models that I know I can kind of hook people into the hobby. And so this is just another great set of examples for me, and the value you get is just insane. This is no exception. So the model here, we have the FH31B. It is in D2. And I don't mind D2 that much as long as it's coated like this. They tend to rust very easily on me. I live in a very humid environment, so even just sitting in the box, they can rust. But the fact that this is actually DLC coated is very much appreciated. Now, there is no lockup issues whatsoever. Up, down, side to side, no problem. Pretty good percentage of connection there with the liner lock. There's no detent lash either, so good stuff. The only thing I will say is my particular version of this, the bearings are a little gritty. You can really hear them kind of moving around in there. Now, a lot of times that's fixed just by taking it apart, cleaning the bearings, putting new lubrication in there, and calling it a day. But I have to note it, it's there. Now, with a knife this inexpensive, I don't expect too much, but I would love to see them just kind of increase the jimping aggressiveness and put it on the very corner of that flipper tab. It's just something that I've just gotten used to and I really appreciate. So if they could do that, that would be fantastic, but still an absolute excellent value. Now the next knife here is actually a really popular knife. I've talked to a number of people in the knife community and this is one of the favorites. It has kind of a thumb hole deployment, a small D2 blade steel. This is the FH924. More of a three-fingered knife. Like, it doesn't quite have enough space. Well, I mean, I kind of can, but it's definitely one of those pinch grip knives and definitely better for draw cutting with that sheep's foot style blade. Nice stout blade, in fact, and great action. This does not have any of the grittiness of the other one. And once again, no detent lash. Actually, nice detent on that. No issues in the lockup here. And a wire clip, which actually I'm a big fan of wire clips. And they went the added mile and they actually included some inserts for that. It looks really nice, I gotta say. So really good job. But I would not personally recommend the carbon fiber overlay. It looks amazing, but it makes for a very slippery knife. And when it's a small knife, I want extra grip, not less so. Still very, very good, and it has hollowed out liners. It's got a really thick handle, very comfortable handle for something that is so small. So I do like this knife. I would prefer it in the 440C, which they tend to carry as well, but the D2 is still nice even grind on this, but we got to expect that this is the best Ganzo has to offer as it was sent directly to me. Now, that being said, I know people who have bought this themselves, and they basically have the same consistent delivery that I'm getting. So very nice. If you like a slightly smaller blade and you like the sheep's foot design, I think it'll work pretty good. I just wouldn't recommend the carbon fiber. Now, the last one is by far my favorite. It's not even close. This one right here has been around for a while. It is the FH922PT D2. Oh my goodness. First of all, I love this handle. Secondly, like we talked about with the flipper tabs, just look at how perfect that jimping is. It's nice and aggressive and it goes around the curvature exactly where I want it. The detent is flawless. The action is excellent. This one came perfectly centered. Now, like I said, this was sent to me, but frankly, this is consistent with what I've gotten from Ganzo in the past. It's D2, but covered, and I like that. If I'm gonna get D2 blades, I really want it to be DLC coated just because of how easily it tends to rust on me, and it just is going to protect the steel on the inside where the pivot is, so that's another bonus right there. black wire clip this time, and they even went and made the insert black just to kind of match everything. I absolutely adore this knife. I love the curvature they have here. There is a proper sharpening choil there on top of everything else. This one is, wow. I mean, I gotta look up the price on this, but I know for a fact it's less than $40. This is why so many of the knife brands have trouble competing in this range. Ganzo makes them look silly. And this is such a good example of it done properly. Everything from the handle. I mean, we've talked, hold on a second. Let me pull out a knife that is very, very popular and you'll kind of do a good comparison. Hold on. So this is an incredibly popular knife for very good reason. It's actually a knife I like quite a bit. It's the Rat Model 1. Another great example of a good budget knife, a good working knife. And here's the cool thing about the comparison here. These are actually very similar in a lot of ways. But the D2 variant of this knife is around $50. Whereas this one, well, you'll see right here, is quite a bit less expensive and has a slightly thicker stock on top of everything else. I'm actually a huge fan of this particular knife. And yeah, this might end up being my my best Ganzo. You know, I did have my favorite being a different model, but damn, this is really up there. Super comfortable with that wire pocket clip, deep carry. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of this particular knife. Not much more to say here. I mean, Ganzo is the kind of knife that you get a lot for your money, and is also, I have to say, they tend to make clones of knives like the Ontario Rat. Actually, they have a crossbar version of the Rat Model 1 and Rat Model 2, slightly different dimensions actually, but I tend to like them even better than the original Rat Model 1. With their liner lock and their AUS 10, I kind of prefer the 440C with the crossbar, personally. And this is yet another great example of them doing it just right. So let me know in the comments, what is your favorite of these three? I think I'm going to end up keeping this one. I really like it, but these other two we're definitely going to be giving away in sometime in the future. Don't worry, I will always make sure that people know. I will be listing it on my website at maxlvledc.com, and we'll let it run for a couple of weeks, so no worries, you're not going to miss it. But really great work by Ganzo. I think the easy winner here is the FH922PT. Now they have other colorways, not just this orange, although I think this is probably my favorite of the ones that I've seen. And I like that it's coated. If it's going to be D2, it needs to be coated for me. So really nice work, really excellent. And yeah, I want to see a lot more from Ganzo. I'm a big fan of knives that anyone can access. The Firebird series is absolutely that. At under $40, it's, yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of the land of Ganzo. Anyway, that's it for this video. I appreciate your time, and we'll talk again soon.